How do you say erection in Italian?
Erection. Erezione.
Erezione. Okay, erezione.
Over the years, the master chef, infamously known for his yelling and insults on Hell's Kitchen, has made many surprising remarks towards people. But under his fire-like personality, he is a very fun and charismatic man. If there's one thing he loves to break his angry fire streak with, it's with his practical jokes.
That's a good hot dog.
That's a good hot dog.
Gordon Ramsay's public roast.
I am Gordon Ramsay! Busted!
Gordon is always the man with the chopping block to cut out bad habits or bad chefs when it comes to cooking and technique.
You're cooking in a burnt pan, you dick!
But what if people got to insult the world-renowned master chef instead? In his disguise as James, Gordon and an actor go to a group study about him and his television shows.
He's a bastard.
Really?
Yeah, bastard.
That's not very nice.
Seems like his gourmet dishes couldn't overcome his infamous yelling.
He's kind of a jerk when he yells at the people about the cleanliness and how to keep their station.
It wasn't until Gordon's mumbled insult,
You're all wimps.
Yeah, thank you very much.
reached someone across the table at one point, almost getting him caught by one suspecting member.
I love that he's brutally honest. See, it can sometimes turn people off.
Missing the close call, Gordon's guy on the inside sets up Gordon for his finale by asking him to do impressions of him.
Hey, donkey! Get out of the kitchen! Move your ass, donkey!
Listen up, everybody! This is garbage!
Before he revealed who James really was. Liking this video so far? Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Chef Gordon as the wacky waiter.
Let's see what kind of bad behavior I can sneak past my employees.
What better way to surprise someone than to work at their dinner? Here on this episode of The F Word, Gordon Ramsay planned to ruin an important dinner event that an old student, Christina Wilson, a winner on his other show Hell's Kitchen, was attending.
My target? My very own restaurant, Gordon Ramsay Steak.
As Thomas, the clumsy waiter, he starts off by ruining the Gordon Ramsay standard. A few of the employees spotted him breathing on the utensils and drinking the champagne as he goes around to check the dining ware.
What's he doing?
Once the patrons started coming in, this was where he had begun the real trouble. As the introductions were being held, he broke wine glasses, and as the food came out, he dropped several items on the ground before picking them back up to place them onto the plates again. He even took bites out of the food before serving it. Once he spotted Christina, he started working his way over to her.
I've added a little bit of my thumb in their mashed potatoes.
The best part of this prank was for him to get her attention since she still hadn't noticed it was Gordon.
Man.
Oh my god! Gordon Ramsay's sneaky advertising.
You crack coconuts with your elbows.
That's what I do. Yeah.
I crack walnuts with my
Here, Gordon decided to advertise his show, The F Word. But unlike any other normal marketing strategy, Gordon decided to be a living advertisement.
How about smiling?
He had a team go out and place a sign in a busy area that had a built-in camera and hidden cameras surrounding the sign to record the surprise of potential passers-by.
Hello?
Never missing a chance, he had caught a few people's eyes and made sure to do a signature insult on their choices of
The best chef in the world.
Jamie Oliver.
I'll pretend you didn't say that.
Guy Fieri?
Oh my goodness me.
Richard Blades.
Who's that?
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
After establishing that he was the best, he started the food quiz.
Something Wellington.
Wellington. Me.
To win a chance at some cash to dine at one of his restaurants.
Spend some of that £100 and get that f***ing hair sorted out.
Is Gordon real or fake? In this prank, Gordon decided to visit Madame Tussauds Wax Museum to see a new wax figurine of himself.
David, that's got to be immaculate.
He decided to test people and see who could tell if he was a real person, and also to see if he could get a few scares.
Jump scare!
His first victim came in. She was enjoying her time taking selfies with all of the other figures. Waiting patiently, she finally came up to Gordon last.
What in the f*** are you doing?
The next victim was so enamored by Gordon that he was testing him.
Get out!
Two more victims. One focused on David Beckham, while the other was trying to figure out if Gordon was alive. The final victims came in, and one went straight for Gordon.
Get out!
Yes, yeah.
Off, will you?
Ramsay's fancy food work.
I'm going undercover to road test his cookery course to have a bit of fun and to see what I can get away with.
Another one of Gordon's favorites is to teach people about cooking and cooking techniques. This time, it was the other way around on an episode of The F Word.
I'm on a mission to road test some of the best celebrity chef cookery courses on offer to you.
Gordon went undercover being taught by one of his friends Zilly in an Italian food class.
Zilly's course costs £352, and on it, you learn how to make stock, different types of pasta, and how to prepare and cook fish.
He wanted to see if his friend would know if what he did in class made him stand out as Gordon Ramsay. He was front and center of the class and decided to correct the chef by lowering the temperature of his soup stock.
Mr. Zilly, I think it's ready now.
Okay, put the tomato sauce in if it's ready.
He's impressed, but oblivious.
Next is the pasta. Zilly was not too impressed with his pasta dough.
You've added too much flour too quickly. Okay, so it's really hard.
So he decided to spice it up a notch and made MasterChef grade pasta dough.
Will he spot that there's Michelin-starred pasta being made right under his nose?
But still, Zilly hadn't noticed that this old Scottish man was Gordon just yet. Finally, they made it to Zilly's favorite course, seafood.
Surely he'll smell something fishy when I've finished before most of the others have even begun.
He's never done it before, so there's no excuse.
Gordon had made it to the end of Zilly's class without him noticing.
Do you know what? You remind me of Gordon Ramsay.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Gordon prank calls.
You guys hungry? Indian or Chinese?
If you had to choose two of your favorite restaurants to race their delivery service to your house, which do you think would win?
Oh! He stole that guy's pizza!
Gordon decided to test out his new challenge idea on The Nightly Show.
The winner will be the one who places their takeaway on the Nightly Show kitchen counter.
He decided to call both restaurants at the same time.
Yeah, I'm starving. Wait there 1 minute, please. Stay there 2 seconds. Sir, can I order a Indian takeaway, please?
Ordering one dish from an Indian restaurant and the other from a Chinese restaurant.
What do you like, please?
An amazing chicken tikka masala. We peel our rice.
Chicken.
One moment. Hello?
Yeah.
Can I order one chicken chow mein with prawn crackers, please?
Once the order was placed, it was time to see which one would make it first to the man under the disguise of
Mr. Ramsay.
Oh, okay. Fine, sir.
But they had a bit of motivation to try and make the food the best quality and the fastest to his show.
Inside that envelope is £100 for dinner and a quick tip.
The winner, the Chinese chicken chow mein. Chef Ramsay's hummus swap.
Your customers were complaining about the hummus, the dips. They weren't very excited. So I went and made some.
Is store-bought better than homemade?
Who would have thought that store-bought hummus would be high in demand?
It might have made a difference in this episode of Kitchen Nightmares, where Chef Gordon Ramsay tries to help a stubborn woman with her failing Mediterranean restaurant.
When you do that spicy hummus, put more chili. That's why I cut these jalapenos. Use them, please.
What was supposed to be her famous and best-selling item, her customers say very audibly,
That's disgusting. That hummus is awful. Why is it still running?
He asked her how old her hummus was.
Every few days. This is #1 seller, so within just 2-3 days is finished.
Fresh food, 7 days a week, my ass.
Gordon snuck out to the store and bought a bunch of ready-made hummus products and served it secretly to the patrons instead. Lo and behold,
That's good.
Much better.
Creating the buzz here. They're loving it. Holy crap.
he decided to give some to the restaurant owner
It's delicious hummus.
Can you taste the difference?
Yes.
and later told her that it was store-bought.
I actually walked to a store and bought it.
Once she realized that he fooled her, it made her cry over the quality of her restaurant's food.
You need to be 10 times better than store-bought hummus. Otherwise, what's the point in running a restaurant?
Gordon Ramsay reminds us that the truth hurts.
I built my career on being truthful, sometimes a bit too honest, and trust me, that's not as easy as I make it look.
Nothing tastes better than getting free food samples.
Oh, could I just try a little sample? Oh, I'm so bad.
Gordon has always detested frozen foods, claiming that they are terrible and food should be made fresh.
Frozen crab, frozen shrimp, pre-packaged ravioli. It's more like eating a badly run old folks' home.
But on this episode of The Nightly Show, Gordon set up a food stand holding a plate of his fake new frozen food line of jellied tarts.
Honestly, by Gordon Ramsay.
His plan was to get them to be honest with him about himself and the food before coming out and surprising them.
More salt.
Yeah.
It started off with a few questions about Gordon Ramsay's brand.
controversial to the point of trying to be controversial sometimes.
When asked who
is the best chef in Britain,
the people said that Gordon wasn't the best when it came to prepared foods, unlike his competitor,
Jamie Oliver. God.
He finally told them to try some of the food and give their opinion, while he snuck out to surprise them.
I don't know what else.
Beef Wellington?
Oh my God.
Gordon Ramsay's equipment malfunction.
Some of you might think this is a joke. Not if you're sitting where I'm sitting.
Gordon Ramsay has always made sure to make his kitchens and cooking stations clean and in perfect working order.
Guys, where's the knife? We said before at the rehearsal. Where's the knife, please? A knife? Sorry. 2 seconds.
But what would happen if his counters weren't set up properly?
Oh my God. What is this?
One episode on The Nightly Show, Gordon decided to prank his celebrity guest and audience by having an actor be a stage assistant that constantly messed up his set.
I can't start without a knife. Thank you.
No, that's okay. I was a
fucking
bit
day
worried
for
of a
him.
man running around the corner with a knife.
It wasn't until they got to the blender where the prank really began. Gordon's acting skills really shook his guest and audience.
I told you to wait.
But they all shared a big laugh once he told them why they shouldn't stick their hands in a blender.
Obviously, do not ever put your hand in a blender.
Gordon's Switcharoo.
Francesco and Enrico think I'm the chef tonight. If Gary and Stefano haven't prepared, it'll be my reputation that suffers.
Another restaurant owner refused advice from the master chef about 2 other very talented chefs who had great potential for being the replacement of the head chef that hadn't been showing up.
He's got to be realistic. He's in the middle of Wales, not London.
Gordon gave a chance for 2 of the chefs to surprise the owners by serving them dishes they would have to prepare.
Francesca doesn't believe that you're capable of becoming the chef. I think you are. It's your half hour. We'll do service, then at the end of service, we'll sit them down and bang, you let rip. You let rip.
Gordon was very pleased with each of their dishes going out.
Gary's cooked fillet steak, and Stefano, sea bass.
Nice, both of you, well done.
And so were the owners who believed that the dishes were being made by Gordon himself.
Clean plates, for me, is a sign of, happiness, yes?
When all the dishes were done, Gordon invited them back only to reveal that the 2 young chefs were the ones who cooked all of the food.
Because I think Francesca doesn't think they're good enough. I wanted them to cook 3 dishes each for you both to have dinner tonight. So I didn't touch anything.
The prank did justice to help save a failing restaurant and promote 2 very gifted chefs in the making.
So I didn't touch anything. Thank you very much, Steve, for your comments. Thank you.
We hope you liked the video. If you could prank Gordon Ramsay, how would you do it? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that gray notification bell to join our notification squad.